Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're anything like us, you've probably been doing more cooking during this pandemic, and even if you're not cooking things like soups and stews and wintry concoctions, you're probably still doing a lot of food prep and therefore creating a lot of dishes. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about some new products that we've been using to try to cut down on our plastic waste when it comes to our dishwashing routine. Before we start, I should mention that we do not have a dishwasher, so because of this, it's really important for us to have products that not only work, but that are comfortable to use on a daily basis, that don't contribute to the fact that we both hate doing dishes. Having said that, let's look at some products that are necessary for a dishwashing routine. We'll start with sponges. I have 3 different kinds of sponges here. Some of them we use more often than others, and I'll explain why. The first one is a silicone sponge. This came in a pack of 3 from, I believe, Amazon, back when I was still using Amazon. Made of silicone, like I said. It's got all these little kind of scrubbers on it, on both sides. And it does have some cool features. One of them is that because it's silicone, it's easy to remove the bacteria from it by just dipping it in some boiling water. I just use a pair of kitchen tongs, dip it to sterilize it, and then take it back out, and it's clean. While it does have these little scrubbers on them, it's not the most convenient for taking off like really stuck on foods or things maybe left like in a pot or a pan, something that takes a little bit of a stronger material to clean off. And it also doesn't move around super well on dishes if you just use it flat like this. It can slide all over the place a little bit because it's very bendable. It gets a little bit flimsy and a little bit uncomfortable at times. It's not my favorite sponge, but I do appreciate those zero waste features about it. The second one is my so far favorite sponge that I found, and this is actually a plant-based sponge. It's made out of palm fiber and wooden pulp. And it is environmentally friendly, of course, because you can just compost this when you're done with it, or if you don't have a compost, you can just toss it in the trash and know that it's going to break down. It resembles a regular sponge in the fact that it has this underside, but it's also got this top side right here that's good for scrubbing things like pots and pans or dishes that might have stuck on food. This sponge in particular comes from a company called Penyi, and you can buy it online. I believe I got this one on Amazon as well. What I do really appreciate about it also is that it comes in this bag right here, and the other sponges that are in the bag are wrapped in sets of 3, I believe it is, and they are also wrapped in paper, so it is a zero waste product when it arrives to you before you even take it out of the bag. And the third sponge is from Silver Falls Sustainability. This looks really thin right now, but when you run it under the faucet, you'll see that it expands. And it also has this nice foamy layer underneath, which gets quite large, as I'll show you, and that is really good for absorbing all the soap suds to help you wash your dishes. So now that we've talked sponges, let's talk about obviously another majorly important element in dishwashing, and that would be your dish soap. This is what mine looks like now. It is a bar soap that says dish soap on it. It has a really nice kind of light lemony smell, and it comes from that same company where I got this small sponge, and the company again is Silver Falls Sustainability. I've used this dish soap a couple times now, and I really like it for several reasons. First of all, obviously no plastic packaging. It doesn't look anything like this, which is what I have been buying since I've been an adult. I'm looking forward to moving away from containers like this and towards products like these, which are zero waste. But of course, because it's zero waste, because it's made of natural ingredients, a very important question to ask ourselves is, does it work? Does it actually clean things? Because the company that the dish soap is from is Silver Falls Sustainability, the same as the sponge, I'll be using their sponge and their dish soap to show you how these products work. The first thing we're going to do is run this under some water to get it expanded and ready to use. So there you go. It happens really fast. And that's it. We're going to wring it out. There's already a tiny bit of soap in there. Maybe do it one more time. Perfect. Get it nice and expanded. There we go. And it's funny because, so this did expand a lot. This looks like what we would expect when we look for a sponge to do dishes with. Let's see how this actually works. Okay, so I've squeezed a lot of water out of this sponge, and I just want to show you that it is quite durable. There's a harder spot in the center, which makes it good for kind of getting down and putting some elbow grease into your cleaning. Just because it doesn't collapse nearly as much as you might think it would, it actually is quite durable for a sponge. So to start, just so I can show you, we're going to pretend that this bar soap is resting on a surface, and we're just going to take the sponge and rub it over the bar soap like this. Okay, there we go. And when you're doing that, you might have to hold on to the soap a little bit, or to the soap saver, just to kind of stabilize it a little. So because we're getting it started, and it takes a little bit more when we get started, I'm just going to do that one more time. There we go. And you'll notice that after you get it started, we have worked up a nice lather on there. And I'm just going to take that and show you that I have some dishes in my sink that I'm going to clean. This here was from making bread this morning, and I'm just going to take a few swipes there and show you how well it lathers and how well it cleans. So maybe you can see that lather on there. I just want to show you how well it's bubbling. So now that I've rinsed this bowl, I can see little tiny spots where the sponge has missed. Just little tiny pieces of like flour and dough that get stuck on there really kind of persistently when you're making bread. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the second sponge with the scrubbier side and see if I can get that those pieces off with this sponge here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wet the sponge. And since I want to use the scrubbier side, I'm going to rub that side on the soap to make the lather. There we go. Now it's lathering up really nicely once we get it going. And I'm just going to see if I can take off those little spots there. So when I switched to the second sponge with the scrubber part on top, it took off all those little stuck-on bits of dough right away. Therefore, I'm going to switch to this one when I need something like really a little bit stronger for scrubbing things, but this one I still think is totally fine for just everyday use. And in fact, I'm going to switch to this one as I finish the rest of the few dishes that I have in the sink, just to show you that it will tackle just the average dishes pretty easily. So as I mentioned, these dishes in here are clean. The scrubber did its job, no big deal. It also doesn't leave any streaks, which I think is pretty cool, and it's really soft on your hands. We do like the dish soap. We're going to keep using this. I love that it's a plastic-free option. It just sits right there on the sink, very simply. The sponge I do like, but it's not exactly equipped to handle anything with really stuck on food. That's where I make the switch and use the second one right here with the scrubber. But you do see it retains a lot of the soap. This is still soap that's on the sponge right there. So it is a pretty good product. We both like it, and we will continue to use it. The second sponge that I was using, Ban Yi, this costs $1.33 when you buy it in a 12-pack, and the yellow sponge from Silver Fall Sustainability cost $1.65. The bar of dish soap that I was showing you right here, I believe is 3.5 ounces, and it costs just over $5.50, maybe $5.65 on the Silver Fall Sustainability website. So as you can see, these are all very affordable products that really rival the non-eco-friendly products that you were probably using before. When you are using a dishwashing bar, you'll probably find that you need to re-soap your sponge a little bit more often, but honestly, I think it's pretty convenient just to have the soap there. You take your sponge, you can wet it, you do a few swipes, even just a couple on the bar just like this, and it's done. So hope that helps you reduce your plastic waste for your dishwashing routine. Thanks for watching.